Study this book, looking at Psalm chapter 51, verses 16 and 17. And this particular chapter is just, I don't want to say the most powerful because all of the Bible is powerful. But it's just one of those ones. It's like the chapter in Romans 7 where Paul is talking about sin, and he's saying, I just don't know what's wrong with me, why I can't stop sinning. Like, I know better and I just do it. And then I know what I shouldn't do and I do it anyway. And this particular chapter almost just rings like that to me. I know David is referencing a very specific situation where he committed adultery with Bathsheba and had her husband killed. And he's in essence just crying out and begging God to forgive him for this sin. And I love these particular verses because he says, "You would not be pleased with sacrifices, or I would bring them. If I brought you a burnt offering, you would not accept it. The sacrifice you want is a broken spirit, a broken and repentant heart, O God, you will not despise." And I love these verses because it's like Jesus said in Matthew, and he references Isaiah in saying this as well, is these people praise me with their mouths, but their hearts are far from me. And David is saying, God, I could give you something. I could give you something and say, I'm sacrificing it to you. But what you want from me is deeper than that. You want a heart. You want a heart that is turned towards you, a heart that is changed because of the sin that I put between us. You're saying, I want to see if your heart wants me. I want to see if your heart wants better for you. I want to see if your heart is for me. And I don't need another sacrifice. I don't need another gift. I need people who are willing, people who are giving themselves to be changed and to be different. A sacrifice without a sacrificial heart is no good. And that's in essence what David is saying, that God isn't pleased with all this stuff that we do or say we're doing in his name when we aren't sacrificing ourselves, and when we aren't for him. What does your heart look like? It's the heart of the matter. Even with Cain and Abel, it was the heart of the matter that made Abel's gift acceptable before God. So what does your heart look like? God doesn't necessarily need another song. He doesn't need another devotion. He doesn't need another something. He wants our hearts. And I think that this is so powerful because David is described as a man after God's own heart. So David, if anyone understood the need for a repentant heart, it was him, a man who was after God's own heart. A sacrifice without a sacrificial heart is no good. Study this book.